The mountain river roared like a living thing, white foam churning over ancient rocks as Ethan Cole picked his way along the treacherous path. He'd come to this remote corner of the newly colonized world seeking solitude, a break from the cacophony of humanity's expansion across the stars. The air was thin here, crisp with the scent of alien pine-like vegetation, and for 3 days he'd seen no other soul. Then he saw her in the water. At first he thought it was a trick of the light, a reflection perhaps, or debris caught in the current. But as he scrambled down the embankment, his heart hammering against his ribs, he realized it was a body. Small, humanoid, unmistakably alien. Ethan didn't hesitate. He plunged into the frigid water, gasping as the cold bit through his thermal suit. The current was merciless, dragging him sideways, but he fought against it, reaching the limp form just as it threatened to disappear around a bend. His fingers closed around delicate limbs that felt too fragile, skin that shimmered with an opalescent quality even in the shadowed water. He pulled her to shore, his muscles screaming, and laid her on the rocky bank. She was young. That much was obvious despite her alien features. Her skin was pale lavender, marked with intricate patterns that seemed to pulse faintly with bioluminescence. 4 eyes, currently closed, were arranged symmetrically on her angular face. She wasn't breathing. Ethan had taken basic xenobiology courses, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. He tried to remember the protocols, the differences in respiratory systems, circulatory pathways. Then he stopped thinking and just acted on instinct, pressing his hands to her narrow chest, feeling for the rhythm of a heartbeat he wasn't sure existed. 30 compressions. He tilted her head back, noting the dual breathing slits along her neck, and breathed air into her mouth. Again and again. She convulsed suddenly, water erupting from her throat as those 4 eyes snapped open. Brilliant gold irises that locked onto him with a mixture of terror and confusion. She tried to scramble away, but her limbs wouldn't obey. Ethan raised his hands, speaking softly, the way he might to a frightened animal. "It's okay. You're safe. I'm not going to hurt you." She stared at him for a long moment, her breathing rapid and shallow. Then in heavily accented but clear standard, she whispered, "Human." "Yes, my name is Ethan Cole. What's yours?" "Siranai," she managed before her eyes rolled back and she collapsed into unconsciousness. For 2 days, Ethan carried Siranai through the mountains. She drifted in and out of consciousness, murmuring words in her own language that his translator couldn't quite parse. He shared his water, his rations, wrapping her in his emergency thermal blanket when the mountain nights grew cold. She was light in his arms, her body designed for a world with lower gravity than Earth, and he found himself wondering what had brought her here, alone and drowning. On the 3rd day, she woke fully, her 4 eyes tracking him with an intelligence that reminded him how little he understood about her species. "Why?" she asked simply. "Why what?" "Why save me? Your kind. We were told humans only value their own." Ethan felt something twist in his chest. "Whoever told you that was wrong. Where's your home? Your family?" Siranai pointed toward the eastern peaks where purple-tinged clouds gathered like sentinels. "The Valley of 7 Moons. My people, the Lyrai. But it's 3 days' journey and I—" She looked down at her hands, at the way they trembled. "I don't think I can make it." "Then I'll carry you," Ethan said, and despite her protests he did. The Lyrai settlement appeared like a mirage through the mountain mist, crystalline structures that grew from the rock itself, pulsing with soft light. As Ethan descended the final slope with Siranai in his arms, figures emerged from the buildings. Tall, graceful, their skin ranging from deep purple to pale lilac. They moved with a fluid grace that made Ethan feel clumsy and heavy. The reception was not what he expected. Warriors surrounded him, their bioluminescent patterns flaring bright red in warning. Weapons, elegant and deadly, were trained on his chest. Siranai cried out, stumbling from his arms to place herself between Ethan and her own people. "Stop, he saved me. This human saved my life." An elder stepped forward, her 4 eyes ancient and sad. "Child, you do not understand what you ask. This human has seen our valley.
He knows our location."
"Our laws are clear. Your laws are written by fear." Siranai's voice rang out across the valley, stronger than Ethan had heard it. "He could have left me to die. He could have taken me captive. Instead, he carried me for 5 days, shared his food, kept me warm. He asked nothing in return." The elder's patterns flickered. Conflict, Ethan realized, was displayed on their very skin. If word spreads of our location, the corporations will come. The mining consortiums. They will tear apart our mountains for the crystals in their heart. Ethan found his voice. Then I won't tell anyone. I'll leave and I'll forget I was ever here. Memories can be extracted, another elder said coldly. The technology exists. Then extract mine. Ethan stepped forward, ignoring the weapons. Take the memory of this place, of how I got here. Leave me with only the knowledge that I helped someone who needed help. Isn't that worth more than my death?
Silence fell across the valley.
The Lyri looked to their elders, and the elders looked to each other, their patterns dancing in a complex language Ethan couldn't read. Finally, the eldest spoke. In 5,000 years of our history, no outsider has ever offered to sacrifice their own memories for our safety. No one has ever. She paused, her patterns shifting to something that might have been wonder. No one has ever simply helped, expecting nothing in return. Sirenai took Ethan's hand, a gesture that made several Lyri gasp. He is human, she said quietly, and he is good. Perhaps it's time we stopped believing those two things cannot exist together. Ethan Cole left the Valley of Seven Moons 3 days later, his memories intact. The Lyri had chosen trust over fear, and in return Ethan had sworn an oath more binding than any corporate contract. He had given his word. 6 months later, when the Galactic Council debated humanity's petition for expanded settlement rights, it was the Lyri who spoke in their favor. The reclusive species that had hidden for millennia, who trusted no outsiders, stood before the assembled civilizations and told a simple story. A story of a human who saved a drowning girl and asked for nothing in return. The vote was unanimous, and somewhere in the mountains of a distant world, Sirenai looked up at her twin moons and smiled, knowing that one act of kindness had changed the fate of 2 species. And maybe, just maybe, the galaxy itself.